Hey, fantastic fam. Welcome to our community where we combine the woo and the work. We are two professional women who believe we can have it all and constantly upgrade ourselves to meet our visions. I'm Kalyani and I've chosen the off-roading paths to personal development, being an entrepreneur with the journey of motherhood. I'm an economics postgraduate and I love working with all things mind and money. I've founded and sold one business and I'm now building this business that feels like fun and freedom for life.
Hi, I'm Rupali. I'm a numbers nerd turned Reiki master and many other things. I found a passion for all things wellness. I've worked in banking and finance for 15 years and I love combining that knowledge with all things energetics to create impact in a fun, easy way for others. Join us as we share the behind the scenes of us creating wealth, freedom, and magic. Hi everyone, welcome back for another episode. The topic again is crypto, and I'm super excited to invite Crypto Jaanbaaz back to the show.
Hi, Rupali. Thank you so
Welcome.
much for having me. Yeah, it's always a pleasure being on Fantastic Females.
So I realized as I was reflecting on the previous episode that we recorded that we didn't fully introduce what Crypto Jaanbaaz is and where the name comes from. And I guess I asked you just before this, are you Crypto Jaanbaaz? Is someone else Crypto Jaanbaaz? Is it an entity? What is it? So maybe we can go through that a little bit.
100%. It's actually funny because it's very abstract, and it was intended to be abstract. There's a bit of a story that's behind the name. My dad often calls me Jabaz because I tend to do things that are different in his perspective. He's very old school. Um, he's someone that was born in India, born under very poor conditions. Um, poor for most of his life. Immigrated. Then I was born, and I have a very different upbringing than he has. And so he sees a lot of what I do, which I consider quite normal, as something quite unique and a different take on life, or a different take. Yeah, I think it's just a bit different to what he's grown up to be. And so he often calls me Jabaz. And I never really took too much to it, but I recently had a trip to the States, and
Wait a
wh-
second. Before we get there,
yeah.
the word Chambas for non-Indian listeners, what does it mean? Does it mean brave? What's your interpretation of it?
So
Courageous? Rule
courageous is
breaker?
a little bit of everything, actually. So Jawaz is again also a little bit of an abstract word. It's a Hindi word. It does mean brave, or it means Jaan actually is life. Baz means risk. So it's someone that will risk their life to do something. Um, so warriors are Jabaz. Your soldiers are Jabaz. So those are the people who are willing to sacrifice themselves to achieve some end. And yeah, I mean, there were some funny stories about my childhood where I mean there was a lady in front of me that was filling her script at a pharmacy. She and we were behind her, waiting in line, myself and my father, and she left her purse at the table. So I picked up her purse and I ran to her to give it back, and I didn't see that there was a curbside elevation, so I tripped, fell, like chipped a tooth. It was a bit hectic, and so he just stood there laughing at me. He's like, why you take such risks? Why do you need to run? You're such a jabaz. And so sometimes it can also not be a great thing because that means that you may be risking your life for the wrong things. So, but at the same time, I would like to take the positive from that. And yeah, so the word Jabaz has always kind of been in my aura, or in my, not aura, what do you call it? Like in my surroundings. Yeah, in
Surroundings.
my surround, I've always heard that word. And yeah, so recently I took a
Yeah.
trip to the States, and there was there were many ways to fund this trip. The it was quite sudden. The trip was sudden. It was not planned for well in advance. It was a bit of an opportunity that presented itself, and I thought, okay, screw it, let's go. I've always wanted to go. Let's do a bit of a holiday, and I needed to fund it somehow. So it was either a credit card, which then has interest rates attached to it, or it was dipping into savings, but those savings would require a penalty to be paid for and a quicker you know drawdown, and also just a bit more admin to take care of that, or it was selling a bit of my crypto. And look, the market wasn't the best time to sell, but I figured I've purchased this crypto. There's there's something about using this asset which is a risky asset, right? It's a risky asset. The price could go up, the price could go down. If I sell this asset, then I can have a tangible use of that asset. So I have this long-term view of crypto that I think it's going to be the next financial instrument that society uses by at large. But there's a long time to get there. And while it gets there, the price movements and fluctuations are bound to impact me emotionally. So typically what people do is they sort of they look at their prices, and like every up they feel excited, every down they feel scared and concerned about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And the only thing you can really do to prevent yourself from becoming a victim of that feeling is use your funds, or not use your funds, become emotionally attached from those funds. And one surefire way of doing that is, of course, not investing more than you're willing to lose, but at the same time, taking some profits. Take some profits, enjoy your life. You're saving for a reason. You're investing for a reason. Use those funds and live your best life. So I thought, no,
Yeah.
that's definitely the way to go. Um,
Yeah.
and
How cool is that? I mean, I think the fact that you in your first episode you mentioned um, kind of the human element to crypto and the holistic view or you take on crypto, and then now you're talking about basic utility. So again, it's none of the crypto billionaire overnight,
correct.
kind of stuff. It's none of the crime related stuff that people talk about and the fears that people have around crypto. It's just basic day to day utility. And the fact that you're considering to fund your trip with crypto is just mind boggling.
Yeah, it's just one extra. Like from an outsider's perspective, one could say, why not sell your stocks, right? Like those things are way more stable. Or why not just withdraw from your fiat savings? And I agree with all of those people. But my one of my large objectives was to become emotionally detached from this asset that keeps going up and down. So it was also a very conscious decision to get rid of crypto in a way that might be loss making, because it was a low point in the market. I like many crypto people will say, you can sell when it gets a bit higher, because that's just like the norm. Like normally people don't
You
spend
can
any
never time
assets.
it though.
Exactly. So if the opportunity in life presents yourself and you've got the means to do what you want to do, don't think too
Yep.
much about how to do it. Figure out what you want to achieve, find the best way to do it, and then just execute. Don't worry about the people who said that you've sold low. Don't worry about those people. Be true to yourself, right?
Yeah. I think a big topic on this, and we can cover this in a future episode also, is just nervous system regulation around your crypto
Yes,
investment.
yes.
To your point, but yeah, that's
100%.
for another.
I
That's
would
its own
love
topic.
I would love that topic, because it's very very easy. Every person that I know that's in the crypto space has a very tight, um, like a clenched feeling whenever the market takes a dip, which is what's happening right now. Um,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a tough one, but then it's also not very easy to do what I'm saying I did, right? Like for you to use crypto to fund a trip, it's not just like you do
I
it.
think I just want to say here that he's making it sound all sophisticated and
Correct.
cool, but let me tell you how cool it actually is. How cool it is that in front of me he was buying a Tim Hortons coffee, and he pulled out his phone and he tapped his phone at the machine, bought his coffee, and said, "Did you know I just used some of my crypto to buy this coffee?" And I thought, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." And he's like, "Yeah, I've just spent some crypto." So it's not even about selling an investment, it's more about using crypto as a currency. Like, how amazing is that? That is the coolest story ever.
Okay, so I have to give you a bit of full disclosure on that story, right? And listeners will also sort of have this question of like, how did you do that? Like, there's no phone apps that you can just use to tap and buy a Tim Hortons coffee. So there are steps involved, and it sometimes takes a bit of outside of the box thinking to figure out how you're going to do it. And
Yeah, but you're a Jaanbaaz, so I mean,
correct,
there you
correct.
are.
And the idea was that I want to be the person that takes that job as, puts crypto in front of it, and allows people to conquer crypto with confidence and become a crypto Jaanbaaz themselves. So right now, and you asked what does it mean? I am a crypto Jaanbaaz. I consider myself a crypto Jaanbaaz, and I intend on making more of me. And so if you follow crypto Jaanbaaz on Instagram, and you want tips and tricks on how to live with your crypto, like, to not make it serious, to not just treat it as some get rich quick scheme, and to really understand that this is a long play. This is something that you should only really do if with money that you're willing to lose. It's an experiment. It's not something you put your life savings into, and something that you should be emotionally detached with. Then I want
Yeah.
and I want to make you a crypto Jabbas that understands those things. And that's
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 very,
the
very cool
existence of crypto
because
Jabbas.
you get many so-called experts out there that just want to keep it all to themselves. But the fact that you've just said you want to make other people crypto chavas and feel like the crypto
100%.
chavas in their own lives is amazing because you want people to be equal to you, which is amazing.
100%. 100%. Like, it makes no sense at all for blockchain and crypto to become the new societal base trusted currency if there's only a handful of people that are using it. Like, it makes no sense at all. And it's relatively new. If you think about the existence of cryptocurrency, 2008 to we are in 2024, right? That's not long. That's 16 years. It's literally a teenager. And teenagers are profoundly difficult to work with, right? Like, it's just a thing, right? Like, teenagers are difficult. It's a difficult
Yep.
age to be, and you're not
Yep.
understood. You're not getting the things you want. You may not understand what you want. So all of those things are just as true for cryptocurrency as a financial instrument. And so it just makes sense for the education to be low, right? So right now the education is low. It's difficult to find good sources of material that helps you understand it. The stuff that is there is highly technical because it's a technical topic. It's
Yep.
very few people that can consume that information,
That's true.
filter it down to something that's consumable for someone that's not technical. And I understand that, right? Like, I feel it every day. People around me, my own wife, doesn't understand crypto to its full extent. So I really need to learn to uh, get better at
Yeah.
explaining it. And so Crypto Jabbas also helps me through questions that come to me to filter out that information to something that can be consumed by someone that's not technical, someone that doesn't have a computer science degree, someone that just wants to preserve their wealth for what's to come. Someone that's looking for an additional asset on their portfolio. Someone that's just willing. Someone that wants to play online casino, right? Like, someone that wants to play blackjack online, or someone that wants to play poker online, but their country doesn't allow their credit card
True.
to be used for that platform. If you're that person
True.
and you want to still play poker, then you should be allowed to, right? Like, these rules existed before the internet. These rules existed before the world moved forward. I'm not saying that those rules are always wrong, right? Like, there may be a very valid
Yeah.
reason that online casinos are not valid, that they are not good for society. So, different countries have
Yeah.
different rules, but why
That's
is it
true.
okay that you are able to drive to a casino, but if you're sitting on your computer, that you can't play poker? So there's some hypocrisies and some contradictions, and I want to be able to help you navigate those with crypto.
Yeah, I think it's about taking the control back, right? I think we're
That's
in an
it.
overly regulated world and it's taking some control back, but with control comes so much responsibility. And
Responsibility.
I think what you're highlighting and showing is that there is a way where both can coexist,
Yes.
where you can be in control and do whatever you want,
And you
and
can
you
be
still
responsible about it.
can
Yeah.
be responsible and live as a daily civilian. And so
100%.
I think that's pretty cool. I think what you also mentioned is, just reflecting back on what you just said, where it's such a technical field. So it's pretty cool that your journey started in computer science. You mentioned in a previous episode that you worked at a bank thereafter, and then crypto was introduced to you there, and now you've converted it into something that you can pay with through your phone.
Yeah.
So I think you've really come full circle. And so if someone wants to be able to do that, is there anything coming up within Crypto Jabas that people could work with you? People could kind of come on a journey with you. Kind of you could handhold and share your insight. Is that something that's coming up?
That's most certainly the entire point of crypto Jaanbaaz. It's very difficult to do sometimes in this digital world without the capability of knowing how to market yourself, knowing how to get the attention of people who you think would benefit from listening to you, but don't yet know how to find you. So making yourself findable is a
Yeah,
challenge, and I struggle with that quite a bit.
true.
And I think that's because I'm too technical and I don't have the more creative side that allows me to get that attention. But it's most certainly in the pipeline. For now, what I've got is an Instagram profile where I'll share tips, tricks, things I find interesting. I've also got a website where I will often publish blog posts about what crypto is. A lot of these are not technical. The intention is for them to be very untechnical, so that you can consume it without needing a computer science degree. For those people that are technical, there'll also be references where you can click a link and go dive a lot deeper. So I intend on keeping everything public, everything referenced as much as possible. But the baseline is that if you ever are stuck on that website and you're not sure what's going on, my DMs are open. You come to Crypto Jaanbaaz's Instagram page, you send me a message, and to the best of my ability, I will chat and I will take you through any troubles
Yeah.
you might be having. So
Yeah.
that is Crypto
That's great.
Jaanbaaz
That
on
is
Instagram
absolutely great.
and cryptojaanbaaz.eth.limo on the website. Both of those links
Yeah, that's
I'll share
perfect.
with you.
We'll definitely put that in the show notes. I encourage all our listeners to, if you're intrigued by this space, no matter where you're at on your journey within the crypto sphere, I encourage you to get in touch with Crypto Jaanbaaz, ask all the questions, and figure out how you can actually work with him, like commit to it. There can be a journey that you can have an accountability partner, an expert at your fingertips, and really making that choice is a choice you have. So I'd like to wrap this episode up here, but fascinating stuff. Paying with your
Thank you for
coffee, coming
having.
back to it, paying with your coffee with crypto is just like the highlight for me. But
No,
thank
it
you for
was
making
cool.
the
It was
time,
cool.
and cannot wait for further conversations on all things crypto.
Thank you so much for having me, Rupali.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Good.
Nice.
There you go. So you didn't have to share too much, you see. So that's
Yeah,
good.
it's perfect. It's perfect.
I think, and
We would really appreciate your feedback as reviews on the podcast app you tune in from. Support us also by sharing this podcast with 3 of your besties who would benefit from being fantastic.